诸位同学们好，欢迎同学们来收看严老师的带你入行数据分析师的课。那么这次我们来讲 section4 query multiple tables with joins。 这个是什么呢？就是涉及到了一个 table join。 什么叫 table join？ 就是简单的来说就是表格交叉。就是说我们取数据呢，不光从一个表里取，还可以从多个表里取，而且表格和表格之间呢有关系，所以这个数据库就叫关系型数据库。所以呢，我们要做关系用什么？就要做用 primary key 和 foreign key 连接，才可以做 join。好，大家来看一下第一个视频。
If you haven't already, please take a look at the worksheet that is attached to this lecture. It covers the concepts of joins and normalization, which explains why we need joins to begin with. So before you even continue on with this lesson, I recommend taking a few minutes to read over that worksheet and try to understand the concepts that are going on. At the end of the join lessons, we're going to have some examples that relate to some of the things we talked about in that worksheet, specifically relating to the book, author, publisher, database, mini database we create in that normalization worksheet. So please be sure to take a look at that. So in general, a join is a method that allows us to return columns from different tables in the same query. For example, let's take a look at this human resources.employee table. You'll notice the first name and last name column is not included in this table. So the employee's first name and last name is contained in some other table. Using a join will allow us to return the first name and last name that's contained in that other table, along with, say, their ID number, what looks like their social security number, and their job title, other columns that are contained within this particular human resources.employee table. So joins are going to allow us to return columns from different tables in the same result set. There are 4 types of joins that we're going to talk about: the inner join, the left outer join, the right outer join, and the full outer join. And the first is the inner join. If we look at this document here, or if you're looking at the join and normalization worksheet attached to this lecture, you'll see this Venn diagram. This Venn diagram represents the inner join. So what an inner join is essentially, you can think of it as the intersection of 2 sets or 2 tables. So suppose table A stores our customer information and table B stores our employees. And let's say that the unique column for each of those is the social security number. If I wanted to return information from both tables, maybe their last purchase date from the customer side and their start date from the employee side, so let's say the customer start date is over here, the employee hire date's over here, and I want to find that information and I want to return it in a single query or in a single result set for only those individuals that are both a customer and an employee. To do that, I would use an inner join, because the inner join is an intersection of 2 sets. Or, in our practical example, the inner join would only return those rows where the social security number for that particular individual was in both this customer's table and the employee table. So let's just take a look at a quick example. There's this table, production.product. And in the table, there's a column called product subcategory ID. Immediately you'll notice that some rows have a null value, or in other words, there's no subcategory ID for that product. But then there are many products or rows that do have a product subcategory ID. There's also a table called production.product subcategory that has this product subcategory ID and the name of that particular subcategory. So now suppose I wanted to return for each product, I want the product's name, the product's number, and then I want the product's subcategory name, which is stored in this production.product subcategory table. How would I write that code? Well, first, let's go to production.product. And what you'll see me do a lot is I'm going to put a space and just type P. What I just created is called a table alias. And it's very similar to a column alias, except we can use table aliases to limit the amount of writing we have to do, and it makes things a little bit easier. And you'll see why in just a minute. So let's call this production.product table P. I said I wanted to return the name of the product and the product number, along with the product subcategory. But the name and the product number of the product are the only columns that we're looking for that are actually included in this production.product table. So I want to say select p.name, p.product number. Okay, and when I execute that, all we've done with this p dot in front of the columns is to say return the name column from the table production.product, and then return the product number column from the table production.product. When we complete this join, you'll see why it's really important to have that table alias in your code. So we said that the subcategory for each product is contained in the production.product subcategory table. Suppose that I want to find the name, the product number, and that subcategory name for only those rows that are associated with the product subcategory. Or in other words, only those rows where the product subcategory ID value is not null and the product subcategory ID value exists in the production.product subcategory table. To do that, I'm going to write inner join. You notice that turns gray. That's a good thing. Inner join, and this is where we say I'm going to join, what type of join? An inner join to what table? And I'm going to say production.product subcategory. I want to join to this table, production.product subcategory, and I'm going to call it PS. So I put a space and then PS. This next line, I'm going to say on. So this on line now tells SQL how we're going to complete that join. We talked about it when we first looked at the production.product table. We're going to join on the product subcategory ID column from the production.product table to each time it matches to a row or a particular product subcategory ID in the production.product subcategory table. So I said I also wanted to return the subcategory name. In the production.product subcategory table, there is a column called name that has the product subcategory name. The problem is there's also a name column in production.product. So if I just type name, I'm going to get an error here, and it's going to say ambiguous column. This is SQL's way of saying, hey, this query recognizes that there are two tables with a name column, or at least two tables with a name column. Which table do you want me to pull the information from? So over here we specified pull the name column from P, or production.product. Now I want to say pull the name column from PS, or production.product subcategory. Let's give this the alias product subcategory name. Now when I run this code, I get the product name, the product number, and the product subcategory name. What SQL's done is said every time I see 14 in the product subcategory ID, go to this production.product subcategory table. If there's a value of 14 in the product subcategory ID column, return the name. And that's what we're doing with the join. We're going to explain this much more in the coming lessons with many more examples to help reinforce the concepts that we're going to talk about.
好，各位同学们，打开我们的 SQL Server， 然后呢，上一个 video 讲的主要是什么？是 inner join、table join 的 inner join。table join 其中的一个 inner join， 然后 on 什么什么什么，这个语句就是说有个 table， 然后后面会有一个 inner join。比如，那首先呢 ，select star from 一个product production 的 product table。好，然后我们可以看一下先看一下它里边有什么 column， 就有 product ID name，OK， 还有这个一些信息，然后大家看一下这个 product 里边啊，这个是 product， 上面第一个是 product， 它这个 name 呢都是这个你的产品的它两个名字呢不一样。OK， 那如果我想看一个报表，我既想看这个 product name， 又想看这个 subcategory 的 name， 那我怎么办？然后首先呢就得把这两个表呢做一个 table join。OK， 那第一步，比如说选一个，好，第一步呢我们要什么呢？要这个。首先要给一个 table， 首先要给这个 table 一个 alias。之前视频里讲了 ，table alias 呢就直接在 table 后面加一个字母就可以了。那为什么要给 table alias 呢？就是说我们做 table join 的时候，一定要写前缀定义，就是说我这 column 我这个是从哪个 table 来的。到时候你每一个 column 之前呢都要写一串这个 table name， 那实在是太不方便了。那我们直接就给一个 P， 就代表它，这个 P 就是它这个代表这个 table。OK， 好，那我们可以尝试的写一下这个 table 状啊，比如说我 select 一个P 点 name。OK， 然后呢还有一个 product 的 ID。product， 它直接出不来，所以我们打 P 点 product ID， 然后逗号。大家先看一下咱们这个 alias， 是可以用的啊。然后呢，这个 inner join 要写在什么 from 后面 ，inner join 另一个 table inner join 谁呢 ？inner join 这个 subcategory。OK， 然后呢，我也给这个 subcategory 呢一个alias， 那就是PS。然后还有下一步要写什么 join condition， 你得告诉我这个 table 的连接条件是什么，就我怎么才能连接两个表？那不就是用 primary key 和 foreign key 嘛，对吧？那join什么 P 的subcategory ID 应该是 OK， 这儿呢 product 的 subcategory ID 等于这是 foreign key 这是等于 primary key。primary key 就是什么 PS 的 product subcategory ID。OK， 这样我们这个 join 才结束。OK， 好，那我们这样呢才可以同时选出 product name 和这个product 的 subcategory 的 name。好，大家可以 run 一下这个 query 啊。好，就出来了，出了我这个对应的 product name 和 product subcategory name。但是呢，这个两个 name 长得一样啊，我可以给它换一个名嘛，对吧？SPS name， 好，大家看一下，好，这个PS name 和这个我们普通的这个product name 都出来了，所以这样的报表呢，大家就可以看见是很明了的，就是每个产品是什么什么什么。好，这是一个简单的 table join。如果我们没有 subcategory ID 的话，我们根本就做不了 table join。 好，没有这个 ID 的话，我们根本做不了这 join 啊。这两个名字它也不会一一对应在一起。OK， 我们的这个条件就是用这个 key， 这关键的 key。
In the last lesson, we briefly introduced the inner join and the concept of a join, and we're just going to continue to expand upon that in this lesson. So at the end of last lesson, we did this example here where we found the product name, the product's number, and for each product that was associated with a particular product subcategory, we found the subcategory name. What I'm going to do is modify this query here and return the product subcategory ID column so that now the query looks like this. So this is the product subcategory ID column from P or production.product. Now I want to show you that because I want to explain more about the join. For this particular row, for this medium-sized mountain bike socks product, it has a product subcategory ID of 23, which SQL's told us is related to the socks product subcategory. So remember that number 23. Now I'm going to go to production.product subcategory and scroll down to where I can find a product subcategory ID of 23. And then I did that, and now I find the name column, which happened to be socks. That's exactly what SQL's doing. What we just did manually is what SQL's doing behind the scenes. For every product subcategory ID that appears in production.product, or P, go and try to find a row in production.product subcategory that has that same product subcategory ID. So we're just trying to find matches. If there's a match, return the information I want, which is the name column as I specified right here with this ps.name, or the name column from production.product subcategory. So if the match exists, or if I can find a row, return the information. If I can't find a match, so say there's a product subcategory ID of 1 billion. If I can't find a product subcategory ID in production.product subcategory that has that ID value of 1 billion, the row won't be returned in this code. That is one of the distinct features of the inner join. The inner join only finds rows where the joining columns, or the joining column values, appear in both tables. Hence the intersection Venn diagram that we see here. So again, the inner join only finds rows where the joining key appears in both tables. And that's important because that's going to be the key distinct difference between the left, right, and full outer joins from the inner join. So let's take a look at another example. Suppose we want to start with this production.product subcategory table. You'll see that there's this product category ID. What I want to do is find for every product subcategory that has a product category ID that exists, I want to find both the subcategory name and the category name. So if there's mountain bikes, road bikes, touring bikes, maybe they're part of the bikes category. I want to be able to see both the subcategory name and the category name in the same query. There's this table called production.product category. That has this product category ID. So what we're going to do is join from production.product subcategory to production.product category on this product category ID column. So let's see what that looks like. So again, I'm going to give product subcategory a alias. We'll call it PS. I want to find those rows where the product category ID exists in both tables. So I'm going to do an inner join. What table am I going to join to? The production.product category table. And we'll call that PC, giving it an alias. And how am I going to join those tables? On the product category ID from production.product subcategory and the product category ID from production.product category. Now I could do select star, but I want to clean that up. I want to return just the name column from product subcategory, and I'm going to give that an alias, product subcategory name, and then just the product category name which is in the PC or production.product category table. So PC.name, and we'll give that an alias as well. Now when I execute that code, I get the subcategory name and the category name all in the same query for only those product category IDs that exist in both production.product subcategory and production.product category. Again, because the inner join is the intersection of two sets based on that joining key, which in this case is product category ID. Let's do one more quick example. We have this person.person table with a primary key of business entity ID. And suppose that I want the first name and last name from this column, but I also want the email address. The email address is actually contained in the person.email address table. But you'll notice we have this business entity ID link that we can use between the two tables. So I'm going to say select star from person.person P, and I want to return from P, or from person.person, I want to return the first name and the last name column. I only want to find the first name, last name, and eventually the email address for those people where they are in the person.person table and they have an address listed. So only those rows in person.person where the business entity ID, which is going to be our joining key, is associated to a row in the person.email address table. So that's going to be our inner join, because we want to find the intersection. So then I'm going to say inner join to what table? Person.email address. We'll call that E. Give it a little table alias. And then how are we going to make that join? We're going to join from the person.person table using the business entity ID and find every match to a business entity ID in the email address table. Now, the email address column is stored in the person.email address table, so I'm going to say e.email address. And now when I run this, I get the first name column and the last name column from person.person, and the email address column from person.email address, where the business entity ID column values match up between the two tables. Suppose that I want to join and get the phone number for these people. That's just contained in the person.person phone table. And again, it uses the same business entity ID. So now I'm going to say inner join to person.person phone, call that PP. And how are we going to join? Well, on the business entity ID from person.person phone equaling to the business entity ID from person.person. So only show me those rows where the business entity ID exists in both. And then where there's a match, return the phone number from person.person phone. And now I get the names, the email address, and the phone number for each person that has a match based on this business entity ID to the email address and person phone table.
上一个视频讲的主要是多个 table join， 不光是可以 join 俩，可以 join 很多个。那我之前做过很多项目的时候呢，有很多 table 一起 join， 常常有10几个 table， 还有 join view， 还有跨数据库 join， 很多各种各样的，life join、inner join、outer join 各种各样的。那今天我们就可以练一下多个 table join。咱比如说先举一个例子啊 ，select star from person， 大家看一下里面有什么。大家看啊 ，person 里边只有一些基本信息 ，first name、last name， 但是呢没有email 和 phone number。比如说你的老板说我要看一下这个 person 的谁怎么样，要一个他的名字他的 email 和这个 phone number。这个时候你就想我这个 person 里边取不出来这个数据，那我要多个 table 取，那怎么办？我就要用 inner join。OK， 那我们就尝试一下。我们首先呢，这个 person 后面我可以变成 pp 嘛，对吧？给它一个 alias。那我首先要取这个 pp 的 first name， 逗号和 PP 的 last name。好，那没有 email 怎么办？那我还要 inner join 一个 table，inner join 什么 person 的 person email address table。OK， 那我给它 alias 叫做 PE。好，那这个 PE 呢，里边会有什么？这个 email address， 对吧？这是我们要的。那你 join 的话，你肯定要有什么 join condition。join condition， 我先讲啊，如果你所选的多个表格里呢，这 column 它是唯一的，你可以前面可以不用给它前缀。OK， 那比如说我们这 email address 它肯定是唯一的，那我可以不用给。为什么？因为电脑它会自动识别啊，你选的就是这个 column。如果你要是不是唯一的，比如说上个 table 啊，像这个 name、product name 和这个 category name， 它两个 column 都叫 name， 所以这个时候呢，你要是不给这个 p，OK， 它肯定会出错，对吧？它就画红线了。那你要是给这个 p， 它就没问题。所以呢，你像这 email 啊，这个 last name、first name 都没有这个重复的，所以呢，它就不会出错。我一直在强调的这门课重点啊 ，primary key 等于 foreign key 啊，才可以做 table join， 才可以有关系。那这个用的是 PP 的 entity ID 等于 PE 的 entity ID。好，大家可以看一下啊。好，没问题啊，这 email 都出来了。好，那么我们比如说还要一个 phone number， 那我们怎么办？那就继续 inner join 啊 ，inner join 一个 person 的 phone。好，那 on 是什么 ？on 后面要加 join condition， 这个可以强调一下啊，就是说你这个 foreign key 你是跟它做表格交叉 table join 也可以，你是跟这个 email table 做这个 in join 也可以。因为什么？因为你们用的都是什么这个一样的 key， 所以呢，你跟谁做交叉，你的结果都是一样的。那我可以尝试一下啊，比如说这个转这个 phone 这个，我们先用 pp 点 entity id 等于我们给这个 person phone 叫 ppp， 好 ppp 的 entity id， 好，我们尝试也看能不能出结果啊。那我这个 ppp 的 phone 是要的 phone number， 好，它是可以出结果。那我们换一下，把这个 pp 呢换成 ps 啊，换成 pe， 来看啊，它的结果也是一样的，不会变的啊。不管你是用的谁，只要是能连上，你是123呢这么连呢，你是123这么连也行，213什么312都可以，只要连上就可以。然后我们看下一个 video 啊。好，下一个没有 video， 下一个是一个练习题。大家把这个练习题打开 inner join 的一些 practice problem， 大家一定要练啊！你要是不练的话，这门课说实话听了也白听，基本上等于白听，好吧？所以呢，大家要练一练。这下面还有答案，如果是不明白的话，可以发到微信群里问我，好，我再给你解答。好，我看一下这个，再下一个。
In the last lesson, we finished up talking about the inner join, and in this lesson, we're going to talk about both the left and right outer joins. And those are essentially the same thing, it just depends on the order in which those tables appear that we're joining to and from. If you haven't done so already, take a look at the document that's attached to the first video lesson in this join section. There's some information about the left and right outer join that'll be helpful for you to look at as you follow along with these video lessons. So just like we did with the inner join, we're going to look at a Venn diagram for the left and right outer join. So the inner join was the intersection of two tables or two sets. So only those values or those rows that appeared in both tables would have the rows returned to the result set. A left outer join is a little bit different. So if we go back to this inner join, remember when we first brought this up, we started to say, okay, let's assume table A is a list of customers, table B is a table full of employees. If I wanted to find the last purchase date from the customers table and the hire date from the employees table for those individuals that were both customers and employees, we would use an inner join because we'd get the intersection of these tables, or only the information where that individual was present in both the customers and the employee table. Where a left and right outer join differ slightly is the left outer join says, show me all customer information, or in this case the last purchase date, and if they are an employee, show me their hire date. If they're not an employee, fine, I still want to see their customer information, but what I'm going to see in that hire date column is a null value for those customers that are not also employees. So we have the entirety of table A shaded and only the intersection shaded in table B. So for only those rows or those individuals that are both a customer and an employee will we see the hire date or information from the employee table. But no matter what, we're going to see all the information for the customers. And so I said earlier that the left and right outer join are essentially the same type of join. This Venn diagram is a right outer join. The only difference is which table comes first. We'll look at an example later on where we use the same tables. One is going to be a left outer join, then we're going to switch the order and make it a right outer join, and we're actually going to get the same exact answer. So you can really think of a left and right outer join more or less as the same type of join. It's just going to be a matter of order. So our first example is going to go back to that product and product subcategory example that we looked at before. Except this time, we're going to find all product information regardless of whether or not that product is associated with the product subcategory. If the product is associated with a product subcategory, let's return that product subcategory name. Otherwise, I still want to see the product information. So the query we used last time was, we were going to select, I'll fill in the column names in a second, so from production.product P, we wanted to see p.name and p.product number. Again, this represents the name column from P or production.product and the product number column from P or production.product. Now in the previous example, production.product subcategory, we called that PS, and we joined on the product subcategory ID columns in both tables. And then I'm going to add in the name column from production.product subcategory, or PS, and we'll give it an alias product subcategory name. Now when I execute this, I get the product name, the product number, and the product subcategory name. But notice I only have 295 rows. This is because of the 504 rows that we have in our production.product table, only 295 of them have a product subcategory ID that is either non-null or exists in the product subcategory table. So again, that's going back to the intersection of the tables or the sets that we talked about in the last couple of lectures. Outer join is different. Is suppose I want to return the product name and the product number, and then if it has a product subcategory, bring that name back and put it in this column. If it doesn't, leave it null. So to do that, we're going to switch this inner join just to a left outer join. Now we're going to go from 295 rows to 504 rows, and immediately you'll see the difference here. This adjustable race or bearing ball product does not have a product subcategory ID, therefore there's no match on that ID to the production.product subcategory table. Since there's no match, SQL can't find a value to return, so it places a null. So if we go back to our Venn diagram here, let's assume table A represents products, table B represents product subcategories. I returned all product information regardless of whether or not that particular product was associated with a product subcategory. If it was associated with a product subcategory, great, return that product subcategory name. Otherwise, put a null there. And that's exactly what we did with this query. Now watch what happens if I do this, and I'm going to leave this query up. I'm going to write, just steal this, and instead of saying select p.name, p.product number, ps.name from production.product, I'm going to say from production.product subcategory. Instead of doing a left outer join, I'm going to do a right outer join to production.product, call it P, and I'm going to join still on these product subcategory IDs. The order in which I put the columns in this on line is irrelevant. So I could put ps.product subcategory ID equals p.product subcategory ID. It's going to be the same answer. But the thing I want you to notice here is in the first problem, or in the first practice problem, we did from production.product left outer join to production.product subcategory. Now we're doing from production.product subcategory right outer join instead of left, but right outer join to production.product. If I execute this, we actually get the same exact answer. And you can validate this on your own. But the point I want to emphasize here is that the left and right outer join are essentially the same join. It's just a matter of ordering. One, we did product left outer join to subcategory. This time we're doing subcategory right outer join to product. We get the same answer. So we're doing the same thing. We're just changing the order in which SQL is evaluating the join is. So that's all we're going to do for this particular lesson. We're going to look at a couple more examples of the left and right outer.
好，上一个 video 呢讲的主要是 left outer join。outer join， 其实啊 left outer join 它就是 left join， 它是一样，它是一个东西。OK。那么什么叫 left join？ 它只是一个，大家记住 left join 就是说左边数据多，左边数据多，它并不是说像 inner join 一样把两个表就是完全重合的这个信息抓出来，它是抓什么啊？比如说我们这个 left 的表它是一个主表，我们就把主表的信息都给抓出来。那给大家举个例子啊，我们先用这个 product 来说啊，先 select the star from product。好，然后呢，大家可以看一下啊，这一共是呢，记住啊，这一共是504行，4 rows。那么我们这个 inner join 一下啊，先 inner join， 让大家看看結果。inner join 一個什麼呢 ？product 的 product subcategory，OK。那这个我们就 ps， 我们给它一个 ps alias， 然后呢 on 是什么 ？pp 的啊，没有给 pp 啊，这个要给一个 alias 啊 ，table alias。好，那我的 pp 的product subcategory ID 要等于 ps 的 subcategory ID。好，我们看一下啊，这个时候呢出来的是什么？295。 rows。好，大家这个时候就知道 inner join 是什么呢？它俩之间呢，只要是完全重合的啊，在这个 product 里边，在 A 表里边，在 B 表里边都有的这一部分数据，我给它抓出来，所以我用什么 inner join。OK， 咱假设说这个是主表，这 product 它是主表啊。OK， 你主表和副表里边两个表里都含有的一些数据，我们给它抓出来，那就是295条。那我们用 left outer join 呢，大家可以看一下啊。left outer join， 好，那它还会出现这个295条吗 ？OK， 它不会，它会出现504条。这个呢，说明什么呢？这个就是说明 left join 抓取的是什么？所有主表的数据。OK， 那这些副表的数据呢，我跟它对应的呢，我就给它抓出来。如果不对应呢，就会出现 null， 没有呢就用 null， 有呢就用对应的数据。那么具体是什么样？我给大家这个 name 给大家看一下啊。那首先这个给大家讲这个 left outer join 呢，就是说抓取所有的主表数据，然后呢副表数据如果没有就用 null， 那有呢就用这个数据。大家可以看一下，其实 left outer join 呢和 left join 它是一个东西，它是一个东西。我们经常用的就用 left join， 你就少打了 outer 了，也省事儿了。然后那个平常都用 left join， 其实 left join 和 right join 都是一样的啊，只不过是这个主表和副表换了一个位置。先给大家演示一下 left join 啊，看这是504 ，left join 也是一样。所以通常工作当中呢，直接就写 left join， 那 left join 用的也是相当多了啊。我们用一下 name， 什么 name 呢？我们用一下这个 pp name。好，我们先不用 left join， 我就用 inner join。OK，pp name 和这个 ps 的 name， 大家看区别。好，这里呢295条，就是说每一条都是一一对应的，但是实际上呢是504条，就是说还有将近200条的数据呢，它是没有这个 subcategory name。那如果我要选出来怎么办呢？那我可能就要用到 left join。好，如果我用 left join， 大家看啊，并不是说每一个 name 它就有 subcategory name。OK， 那这个 name 我给它起名叫 subcategory name。好，大家可以看一下啊。好，那出现了504条，这意思就是说什么呢？我把主表里所有的数据呢全抓出来，但是呢，你这个副表里有就给我，没有就用 null。大家可以看啊，好，这些都是209条数据啊，有209条数据是没有 subcategory name， 那怎么办呢？也抓出来，然后直接用 null，OK 就可以了。好，这就是这个 left join 和 inner join 的区别。那这个 right join 呢是什么意思呢？其实也一样，只是把这个位置给它调换一下就可以了。是一样的。 完全一样，只是他们换了一个位置而已。好，大家这个可以练一下啊，可以练一下。好，那我们把一样的这个复制过来，然后呢这个调换一下位置。然后呢，这边改成这个 right join。好，那出现的数呢还是504。好，所以呢，这个 right 和 left 是一样的啊。大家这个通常呢，我们很少用 right， 很少用，只是用 left 都一样，都足够了。所以呢，这个大家记住啊 ，left 的 outer join。和这个 left join 是一样，和这个 right join 也一样，都是一个东西啊。你就记住 ，left 的左边数据多啊 ，right 就右边数据多，好吧？看下一个 video。
We finished up last lesson looking at the examples on the screen, talking about the subtle difference between the left and right outer join. And we're just going to continue to talk about the left outer join and use it in conjunction with the inner join in some more complicated queries. So let's take a look at this table called sales.sales order header. This table essentially represents the invoice summary for orders that are placed. So it has a sales order number, if there's an associated purchase order number, an ID for the customer, for the salesperson, for the territory, some address information. But the big thing that we're going to be interested in, especially as we get into some of the later problems when we start talking about aggregations and groupings, we see the total amount and the total freight, total tax for this particular sale. What we're going to do is take a look at these sales orders, but join out to various tables like sales.salesperson, which stores information about the salespeople, and some of the sales territories, so that instead of having an ID, we can see the territory name, or the salesperson name, or the customer name. These are things we couldn't do until we had covered the concept of joins. And in particular, we needed to cover the concept of outer joins in case, for example, and if I scroll down, I should see some right away, there are some orders that are not associated with salespeople. If we join from the sales order information to the salesperson table using an inner join, these particular rows that aren't associated with the salesperson, where the salesperson ID is null, they would not be returned. So we'd be getting some missing information. So to start off, let's join from the sales order header table to the sales.salesperson table. Given what we just said here about how there are some null values in the salesperson ID column in sales.sales order header, I want to do a left outer join to the salesperson table so that I see all rows regardless of whether or not they have a salesperson associated with them. So I'm just going to call sales order header SOH, again just giving it a table alias, and I want a left outer join to sales.salesperson, and we'll call this SP. And now we're going to join on the business entity ID value from salesperson equal to the salesperson ID from sales order header. A completely valid question might be, why? Why do you know to join these two columns together? So if I go down in the Object Explorer to the sales.sales order header table, and I double click on, or I open up the keys folder, I find this sales order header, salesperson ID foreign key relationship created in sales.sales order header. If I double click on this, this foreign key relationships table comes up. This is where the foreign key relationships and the connections amongst tables are defined. If I click on this tables and columns specification row, and then the ellipsis button here, this tables and columns window tells me the foreign key relationship between the sales.sales order header table and the sales.salesperson table. What it's saying is that the salesperson ID column in sales.sales order header has a foreign key relationship to the business entity ID column in sales.salesperson. Or in other words, if I want to connect these two tables using the salesperson ID column, I have to connect it to the business entity ID column of sales.salesperson. So you can do this for any type of relationship. If you're trying to figure out how to join two tables, take a look at the keys and open up this tables and columns window so you can see how they are related. So back to our query. Let's just take a look at what's in the sales.salesperson table. And you'll notice that it doesn't have any first name or last name information. It has the quota, bonus, commission, things like that. We know that there's this table person.person that has first name and last name information because we've used that in previous lessons and in previous examples. In salesperson, we have this business entity ID, which, if we remember, is the primary key of the person.person table. So if I go over to the sales.salesperson object and open up the keys, I'll see this salesperson employee business entity ID key. Let me double click on that, and I'm going to go click on the ellipsis here. What this tells me is that the business entity ID column of sales.salesperson has a relationship to the business entity ID column of human resources.employee. So if I want to connect to another table using this business entity ID, I should connect to this human resources.employee table. So I'm going to create that join. We're going to stick with the left outer join because, again, we want all sales orders or all rows for sales orders, regardless of whether or not a salesperson exists. So I'm going to left outer join to human resources.employee, call that E, on the business entity ID of both human resources.employee and salesperson. But this human resources.employee table, as we've seen before, also does not contain any first name, last name information. So if we scroll up to the human resources.employee table and find the key associated with the business entity ID column, we see that we can connect the human resources.employee table with the person.person table, which is the table we wanted to get to right from the start, through these business entity ID columns. So now I'm going to say left outer join to person.person, call that P, again on the business entity ID column and person.person for when it equals the business entity ID column from human resources.employee. So let's add in the columns we want to see now. So we only want to see the first name and last name columns from person.person. And then let's also see the sales order number from sales order header and the total due. We'll call that as sales amount. So now when I run this, I get all 31,465 rows from sales.sales order header. If that sale was associated with the salesperson, I get that person's first name and last name. If the sales order was not associated with the salesperson, I'll get a null value for these first name and last name columns, but I'm still going to see the sales order information. Looking at this, you could have eliminated this join from salesperson to employee and just gone directly from salesperson to person.person. You can make that jump once you become familiar with the database and you know how the information is stored. I would not recommend that on a database that you're not familiar with because you're not sure of the relationships amongst the tables. Does the grain change? Things like that. So we could have eliminated this join and just joined directly from salesperson to person.person on the business entity ID. But again, we're following the proper channels. We're identifying the connections between salesperson and employee and then employee to person.person. So this is the more formal way of doing this. Now let's add one other change to this. If we look at the sales.sales order header table, there is a row called territory ID. This represents the sales territory. And now suppose we want to include the territory name in our query up here. There's a table called sales.sales territory. And in there, we have that territory ID, and we also have the name of the territory. If we were to check the keys over here in the Object Explorer, we would see that we could join the sales order header table to the sales territory table using the territory ID column from each. So let's do that so that we can return the territory name and include it in our select clause. I'm going to use a left outer join because I don't want to assume that every sales order or every row in sales order header is associated with a sales territory. So if every sales order has an associated sales territory, then a left outer join and an inner join are going to give me the same exact result. But since I don't know, we're going to play it safe and use the left outer join and assume that I want to see every sales order regardless of whether or not they have a sales territory. So we're going to say left outer join to sales.sales territory, call that T, and we're going to join on the territory ID from sales territory equaling the territory ID from sales.sales order header. Now I'm going to go up into my select clause and add this t.name column, or the name column from sales.sales territory, and we'll call it as territory name. Now when I run this, I get both the name, first name, and last name of the salesperson if a salesperson was associated with that sales order. I get the sales order number and sales amount, and regardless of whether or not each sales order was associated with the sales territory, I get the name of that territory, or I return a null value. I believe every sales order has an associated territory name, so if we did an inner join, we would get the same result, but again, we're playing it safe, and we're just ensuring that we're getting complete results. In the next lesson, we're going to look at one more example of the left outer join, and that should wrap up all of our work on joining.
好，那上一个 video 呢，讲的是一个多个 left join 的一个例子。那大家看完以后呢，肯定会有一些感觉有一些复杂，其实也不复杂，它所要的东西就是多个 table 选一些数据嘛。这个 video 呢，还有一个小例子，就是教大家怎么去找这个 relationship， 比如说这个表和表 foreign key 和 primary key 之间的关系，我怎么知道这个表和这个表之间是什么关系？比如说你刚进入工作场合之中，你可以问老板一些问题，我需要哪个表啊，去完成你给我的任务。比如说老板说我要看这个 person information 我要看什么什么，然后呢你需要找到什么什么表什么什么表，但是呢你怎么去做这个写代码是连接关系这些问题呢，你就不应该去问你这个老板了，因为这个事儿不是你老板负责，你老板只是负责给你提供你的位置在哪，但并不能告诉你去怎么做，他要是告诉你怎么做要你干嘛，对吧？所以你要学会什么，怎么去找这个表和表之间的 foreign key 和 primary key 之间的关系，那很好找啊。那大家随便点开一个 table person， 大家看这个 key 这里面就有 key， 我点开一下，点开呢，大家就知道这个 key 呢都和哪一个表相连，可以找到我这连接这个 table 是需要什么 key， 哪个 key 是我所要用的 key， 好吧？那这个大家一定要记住了。那上一个例子呢，就是说一堆这个live join。那我们真正做项目的时候你肯定对数据库没有这么熟，这是一定的。我估计你这一个 live join 会写1个小时、2个小时，或者是小半天都有可能。你就是这个速度，你要去找你的数据库或者怎么样，你还要去验证写的是否正确所以呢，这是可以理解。刚入职都有一个适应的过程，老板也不会给你太艰巨的任务，因为你刚入职嘛，也知道你是新手。你要是这个老手的话，那就不一样了。这个东西呢，大家就是打一遍敲一遍吧。原是就是说 live join， 那我就练一下，大家一起打，练一下。From sales order， 这是什么 ？order head。sales territory T on 什么 T 的 territory ID 等于 SHO 的。好，那这个代码就写完了啊，大家 run 一下。好，我们 select start 都一样。好，这个出红线啊，多打一个空格。run 一下3146，那我们打的对不对啊？对，好，没问题啊。这个呢，主要就是练一下，然后大家知道怎么去找这个 key 就可以了啊。
lesson with. And what I want to do is use joins along with the where clause and the order by clause so that we're using the select, the from, different joining methods, and the where and order by clause all in the same statement. So we're using everything that we've learned in one query. So to do that, let's just keep this particular query up and suppose that we only wanted to see those sales orders where the territory was Northwest. If you think of these joins all as part of the from clause, then it follows that the where clause would come after all of the joins, or come after the from clause. So we're going to go to a new line and type where. Now we want to filter on the territory name. So we want to say where, and this is where I have to be careful. I have to say where t.name, or where the name column from sales.sales territory equals Northwest. When I execute that, I drop significantly. I get only those rows from sales.sales order header where the sales territory matches up to the territory of Northwest. Now suppose I want to order these results by the sales amount column or the total due column from sales order header. I can say order by, and I could say order by for, let's say descending order. I execute that. And now I have the largest sales values at the top. I could also say order by sales amount, because again, the order by clause allows you to use the ordinal or the alias. Or I could say order by SOH.total due. And I get the same answer. I could just say order by total due. And I've been very careful to use table aliases with all of these columns. The reason that we can just put total due as opposed to SOH.total due is because no other table has a column called total due. So SQL doesn't have to have a table alias to indicate what table that particular column comes from. If there were a column, say business entity ID, which we know is in multiple tables that we wanted to return to our select clause, I would have to specify the table that I wanted to pull that from, or I would have to have a table alias in front of the column to indicate what table SQL should return that column from. So it's a little subtlety, and we've kind of seen it a few times with the name column with the product and subcategories, so that we don't have ambiguity and that SQL knows what column to return the information from. So we've done a little bit with inner joins and a bit with left and right outer joins, which again are essentially the same thing, it's just a matter of order. And we've now included those joins in a complete SQL statement that uses all of the clauses that we've learned up to this point. In the document attached to the first video lecture of this section, there's a brief outline of the full outer join, which I'm not going to spend any time talking about in these lectures, but just take a look at the brief description that's included in that document. Take a look at the Venn diagram, and if we run into some problems later on where the full outer join could be used, I'll take a little bit more time and explain it.
好，上一个 video 很简单啊，就是说我们这个 multiple table 呢，还可以跟筛选啊，那当然是一定的了。筛选做得好的人呢，他这个会影响很多事情，比如说你的 performance 啊，你的结果呀、都会出现一些影响啊。我们可以做一下啊，做一个筛选。OK， 这里有一个name 啊 ，where name 等于south east， 那大家 run 一下这个啊。好，400多啊，这全是 South East。 然后呢还可以排个序 ，order by， 比如说我们 order by 这个 order date。DEIC 第3点，看一下啊，我这里打错 ，DEIC。好，这就是说从大到小排序。好，这就是这节课的内容。好，下一个呢是一个作业了啊。我们好打开以后呢，就是练习题，就是我们刚开始下载那个文件left right join 的一些，还有 inner join 的一些练习题，大家都做一做。因为还是如果不做题的话，真的是很难进步。你光听光懂，但是你不练习的话，你还是很难去记住这些东西。所以你要多练，好吧？这就是 section 4，主要是 join。